Hello, hello. Just give me a minute. We are going to start going streaming live in a minute. And setting up two recorders, one audio, one video. And we shall go live. Yeah, here. Yes. Okay, so we're recording. And one more button and we'll get going. All right. Okay, so we're just waiting for live stream confirmation. And we shall get started here. All right, so we're live. We are live. Okay, so welcome to another edition of our let's see here. All right. So, welcome. How is everybody doing today? We are going to get started here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between if you're on my podcast, there is a live stream version or video version on my YouTube channel. Also on my TradingView under streams, just go to Brian Downing QLN, and just look under streams on TradingView. You'll find the video there. So what we're going to talk about today is when you use something like TradingView in the world of Pine Script. And I have to tell you, the more I see Pine Script, the more I dig it compared to anything else I've seen when it comes to automation and algo trading. Right now, without a doubt, I think that TradingView is probably the best platform on the planet, just alone on the technical and the social and all the fun stuff that comes with it. So, well, we'll just get rid of that. We don't want any more alarms here. Okay. All right. So, like I said, we're going to look at when to use something like Python. Python's pretty popular. I'm going to talk a little about C and C++ in the area of HFT. I've shown a couple of demos in the last few weeks on the capabilities with the data coming from TradingView. And also, I'm going to show you a market making indicator that is available in the indicators of TradingView or Pine Script. So let's check it out. First off, I want to show you when to use Python. So with Python, what you want to do is basically, okay, so with Python, what you want to do is look at things like ranking, scoring. That's where Python excels at. I use NumPy, Pandas as the core packages, plus other ones, obviously specialized ones. There's a lot of good data sets out there that you can get real time um, historical data sets to do really good analysis in Python. And what I'm showing you right now are just the various different types of analysis I do. I'm going to look at and show you, and I've shown this before, the ones that I've done in both stock and ETFs. So last week, you pretty well knew that the U.S. government credit rating got dropped last week, and it killed the markets for about 2 or 3 days, and it's bounced back today on Monday. So it's very interesting to see how many available stocks there are. And you can see here, as just as one example of the top tier stocks to look at. Now you can choose a lot of the highly volatile stocks as well. With Python, I'm able to reduce and only use low volatile stocks. And these are some of them right here. So there's only eight that have been chosen for the last for today. Excuse me, because of the down markets. So these are them right here. You got the stock symbol, then you got, as I've shown you before, I think it was last week, the average returns percent wise for the last 20 working days, 50 days. I've talked about the Arun up. We've got a recommendation score as well from analysts of 6 is pretty good. With closing price, strong buys, and selling and strong selling. strong sell recommendation. So obviously we don't want anything that has a sell or a strong sell recommendation. We only want strong buys. So these are very strong, very strong stocks. So in there you got ETD, Ethan Allen, Hayward. Most of these you probably never heard of: MTG, ESNT, RF. So these have looked pretty good just from that. Also, this is where Python excels. This can be done very quickly. Um, when it comes to Python, when it comes to prototyping, I think Python's the number one language to do that. And with the prototyping and be able to, because it's an interpreted language, you can run a lot of these commands on the command line in the Python interpreter and Jupyter and do a quick and dirty way of building out scripts from that. And you can go the complicated route using AI and machine learning. What I'm finding with machine learning, it's overly complicated to get the same results. And from a lot of the people I've talked to over the years, a lot of them like simple analysis, simple ways to get answers. And to do that, the best way they do it is by ranking, filtering, and scoring. And that's it. I mean, they use a data set, a pilot criteria. You can see here, I've got all of these that I'm using, I just showed earlier. Those are a form of factor investing. And some people we go up to 100 parameters. In my case, I've got maybe two, three, maybe no more than 10, let's say. So I'm able to rank based off that and then get really good stock picks from that. And that's where where Python really excels at. You could do the same thing with machine learning. As I said, it's a lot more complicated, more math, blah blah blah. I just can't be bothered, and you're pretty well getting the same results using ranking and scoring and filtering off that. So, for instance, you see here. Let me just show you one more. So, a lot of these are spreadsheets and CSV files. So, in here, I've got I upload these to um, something I have. I have to be very careful on what I talk about here. Um, I have rules to follow doing streams on TradingView, so I have to be very careful. If you're interested in what I'm doing, just go into my profile and look at all my different social media, YouTube, my website, my Telegram, and so on and so forth. So, a question from: will the script use one commission because every trade I do is 0.35? So unless I'm long and win, the only winner is the exchanges I use. Again, that depends upon your asset class. I'm just showing you very basic intro on this. And Yeah, I only do long only really. I do stock, ETF, and crypto. I can do forex. It's a different methodology I use with a different platform outside of TradingView, but I'm consolidating everything into TradingView. So I just want to show you how I get to the point of stock picking. That's the whole point of Python. So that's what I'm doing right here. So there's different types of spreadsheets that I use. So for instance, let me just show you the market sectors that I use to rank. So what I do is I rank every start of the month. So we're in our seventh day of August, right? So in here I have up to 64 categories available um, in the markets, namely in the US, some are foreign, and you'll see the different sectors here. So the only ones right now producing positive returns for August is commodity metals, commodity agriculture, Europe, real estate, treasury, and financial. So those are the only sectors that are profitable right now. And I run this every day, and this rebalances every day. And what this does with this spreadsheet, again in Python, it will go into each available ETF from these rankings, and they're all from Interactive Brokers. And what it'll do is it'll go through each of the holdings of each ETF and then pick out the higher weighted allocated stocks. And that's it. Because usually, if you have an ETF that's performing, you're going to have your weightings in those stocks of the better performing companies. So, out of that, let's say with metal agriculture, you're going to have a series of companies that fall into that category that are doing fairly well, and they're very defensive. Um, in terms of lithium, not seeing the ranking. I'll show you what I have here. So right now, these are the top performing sectors for August, and it can change by the end of August. Okay. So in there, I can specifically then generate stocks for each ETF that has a holding of a high performing stock. So for instance, here are the ETF performers. Now, there's a set of criteria I look for as well. So in this case, we have Turkey as the number one performer. Okay. And I could have more. Some of them are oil, some of them are silver, some of them are uranium, some of them are home builders, and that's what's performing right now. So to answer your question, hit, I can't see your name. I'm sorry. Lithium's not part of this. So again, the only performers I'm seeing or that's coming out of these ETFs, as it said, is silver, uh, steel, um, what else? Oil, not oil itself, but oil services. Any companies that are dealing with oil services. So those are some of the better performing ETFs, and uranium as well as another. So out of that, each ETF will be picked out, and some of them don't have a lot of liquidity to them, so I don't really use them. Some of them are really spotty and have a lot of gaps, so I don't use them. But doesn't mean that a lot of them aren't useful. And so that's how the ETFs come about. South African PGMs are also oversold. I'm not sure on PGM, but I'm just giving you from a US perspective on what's performing via the ETFs. Hey, okay, sorry, Graham, gotcha. Okay, so we got you by name now. Cool. Thanks for all your input. I really appreciate it. So again, this is just an example, and again, what matters is the parameters I'm using to rank these. We have the returns on the 20-day, 50-day, as I showed you earlier, and then here we have the volatility ranking. So anything less than four is considered low volatile. And when you work with a stock that's more than 4.4, you're going to lose money with those particular stocks because of their volatility. And that's the closing price. PGM is platinum, gold, groups metal. Again, I'm not sure. I've not seen that company at all in any of my systems at all. So I can show you some of the companies. So this is the top performing ETF is as an example is Turkey. You do have some of the MSCI country by country. So there'd be Belgium as well as another example, and there'd be other available. Like I said, IFW, which is one of the oil services for the US. So that's a top performer. There was a Van Eck Steel ETF that's done fairly well as well. And again, you're going to see all those companies as top holdings in those ETFs. Hopefully, I'm making sense. And that's where Python is able to do this quite simply, just using the proper data sources I'm using and the proper parameters I'm using here. One thing I want to know, let you know, as call it a secret or one of the best technical indicators out there. I mentioned this last week is the Arun up and Arun down. This right here are signals. These are calculated through a library called TALib, Technical Analysis Library, one of the best technical indicators that I can tell you. And again, this is only available in Python. I'm not sure. I'm sure you can get it available in in uh, TradingView. But when you're looking at the best performers, you want to know when the next breakout will happen. So this is where a rune comes in because with a rune up, that's an up signal, meaning a buy signal, and it's ranked from 0 to 100. So when you see it at 100, it means it's coming that buy signal for this Turkish MSCI ETF. Also, when you look at the Arun down, that's a sell signal. So if I was to load up my trading view here, and if I was to, as an example here, put in Turkey, let's see how it's doing. So this is the MSCI Turkish ETF. So let's see how it's doing. Turkey is an amazing place if you want to make money. Um, ideas. Where's my super? Okay, hang on here. Turkish. Okay, why am I not getting my super chart? I don't know. This sometimes I'm won't say I'm fairly new to. That's bizarre. I want that one. See overview launch chart. Sorry about that. I'm blind as a bat sometimes. So here under Turkish, you can see the spottiness that I was mentioning. So with that's a ten-second time frame. So let's be more realistic. Let's look at a four hour. So that one still gaps a lot. Let's look at the daily. You can see how it's a really nice pattern here. So these signals that I'm giving you are pretty good. So you're going from $27 on June 23rd all the way up to $35. For an ETF, that's pretty good. That's a what a 20% return thus far at the end of June. And you're getting a couple of nice green signals here. So that's a pretty good ETF to follow. Um, so that's something why I really value what this is generating. That's just an example of a really strong stock. Okay. So let me show you another spreadsheet here. And this is what's generated from Python, right? So let me just go over to my spreadsheet. Should I show you another spreadsheet here? So I'm gonna try to hold off Graham to answer all the questions because they're sort of outside of my realm here that I'm wanting to present. So here's some of the stocks here that are top performers. Okay, so you can see here we have the Arun up, we have the Arun down. So in this case, we have this stock called MF, Arun up, Arun down. So there's a sell signal in there as well. And then you can see the volatility score there is 2.6. That's way too high. So even though it's a top performer, as an example, this is how you lose money if you're not filtering out for low volatile stocks. Just as a strong hint there. I work off of data. I don't work off anything else. So this is something called Miss Fresh. You can see it spiked like crazy from 50 cents to $33. Now, what will typically happen in that kind of stock? This will happen. So if I bring in a 15-minute chart, actually it's doing pretty good. It's held its own pretty good, but it looks like it's drifting down. It's like XRP after the lawsuit with Ripple, and it just drifts back down. But if you knew about this, you would have done quite well. You would have made 6 times the money. But when you look at, let's say, a yearly chart, yeah, this would probably be considered volatile based upon this big spike. So that's a fairly um, volatile stock. Let's look at this one, ICAT. So I don't know any of these companies, just so you know. And I'm going to show you the difference between that and a low volatile stock. So this one's called ICAD Incorporated. This one, not too bad actually, but again, you can see what the problem is. It spikes and it drifts back down. Now, there's obviously a news event that spikes that stock, and it's something that drives it back down because just it doesn't have the fundamentals to keep the momentum of the price elevated. So let me show you another spreadsheet. And again, these are generated from my Python. This is the advantage of Python because if you're using data frames, if you're a programmer that is, you can do a lot of ranking and treat within Python very easily in a minimal amount of code and treat it like an internal spreadsheet. That's the power of it. Okay. So let me show you uh, another generated Excel file here. So if I showed you, this is a low volatile here. So these are now been filtered out of the regular stocks. And here, considering we had a bad market, it's generated well over how many stocks? Pushing 400 plus stocks. Okay. So a lot of those stocks are going to be useless. Look good, look good when they spike, but you've got to put out more um, you got to do a lot more filtering and a lot more analysis on the stock itself. To do it as a human, it's very difficult, I think. That's where the automation and the algo trading comes in to speed that up, where it can be done. I can generate this stuff in less than 2 hours, and it will go through literally hundreds of stocks. But what you want to generate is exactly what I'm about to show you here. This is the important one. So this is just one example. Now, this is Ethan Allen, but it's a very low volatile stock. So Ethan Allen, EAD, as an example, again, sorry, ETD, Ethan Allen Interiors. You can see it spiked there. Okay. So, question is, will that stock? So it's gone from, let's say, 25 to $35 here, and you're looking at June 23rd. So in like 5 weeks, it's performed. A lot of people get all excited about their Magnificent Seven. But when you start to see these kind of stocks and they're low volatile, you got yourself a winner. The problem is the timing of it. So that's a concern there. So what I want to show you is another stock, as I showed you in the ETFs, that was part of that. I think it's IEW. If that's, let me just make sure. I think it's IEW. Uh, yeah, it was an oil play. I can't remember the name of it. But out of that, as an example, which would be a good stock, is Marathon. Marathon's a really good one. And again, this is the Python doing all the heavy lifting. You can see here, on a daily basis, you're looking at stock when oil started to take off from 22 to $26. So you're looking in a very short time frame at 27%. Jim, the question for you is, these are custom built Python scripts that, as I said earlier, on TradingViews, TradingView videos and streams. I have to be careful what I say here. So all I can tell you is just go into my profile and look at, I don't know, the YouTube, my Telegram, and all that stuff, and you'll get more information about this sort of stuff. Okay. So I've been doing this for 10 years. In the last 2, 3 years, I've been trying to push out all just the results of stocks and market analysis, and my latest surveys say nobody's interested in that. They're more in the tech stuff. So that's what I'm pushing now, and that's what I'm putting out there. So this is where I'm able to find these rock star stocks. So this is again Marathon Oil, and as I said earlier, the best uh, performing category of the lot was oil, or was oil services. So Marathon's one of those companies that's done really well. Um, okay, so let me show you now. So that's the power of Python, is if you're a custom a coder and willing to put time into learning Python, you can do extremely well, regardless of your asset class, because there's lots of data sources out there that you can use through Python. Some are paid, some are free. Mostly the good ones are paid, and not that expensive actually. And then you're able to suss out a lot of fundamental analytics. Some can be technical as well. As I mentioned, one library called TALib, Technical Analysis Library, and so on and so forth. So there's lots of really unique things you can do when you run the scripts and then run them against your data. Within a few minutes to a couple hours, you can get some rock solid stocks out there. Um, so let me go through. Graham said also, yes, time is money. I would lose $100. I would lose $100 to rather make 500 bucks. I could go through the portfolio analysis and will tell you that you can, uh, when you look at your risk reward, you may have to take $100 profitable trade, but go through probably 10 small trades to make up for with that with that large trade. But it's getting harder now to finding stocks that win, especially if you look at the last 3 days since that cut in the markets from Fitch. It's going to get harder. It depends upon your strategy outlook, or your market outlook and view of the market. If you're okay to short, by all means. But again, when the market turns against you and you're not watching it actively, you will lose money very quickly. Do you have an invite on Discord? I'm not. I have Discord set up. Um, Again, if you just go to my, actually, you know what? Just message me. That's the best thing. I do have a Discord available. Yes, I do have that. Okay. All right. So let's get on with TradingView itself. Now, sorry, with TradingView. Okay, so hopefully most of you know Pine Script, the custom coding language for TradingView from TradingView Pine Script. There's a lot of I have to tell you, I've worked on a lot of platforms. I've worked with a lot of different, we'll call them coding environments. TradingView is easily the number one I've seen. So, and even though I'm on, let me pull up Bitcoin as an example. So with Bitcoin, I usually use Bitstamp as the exchange. Usually, when you look at these indicators, there are literally any type of indicator you want available. 100,000 of them are available, and they're all open source, so you can get the code. So if you guys want to give me one, I'll I'll gladly put in uh I don't know. Let me think. Me Yeah. Let me think. SMA 100. So here's a cross. This is a pretty reliable indicator. Very simple, right? So here, take profit, buy, sell, blah 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 blah. And the thing is, you are able to look at the source code. Okay, so it's available. It's free. So that is the beautiful thing I like about TradingView. The question is when is the best time to get into a stock or any instrument available on TradingView to know when it's about to break out, as an example. As I've shown you, the list that I have with the Arun, like this one right here, the Arun up is your 100 is a signal to say it's about to break out. And that's raw data from market data. So that's the sort of thing you want to use that will show a potential very high probability of a breakout. So if you're able to do that and know that that particular stock, like Ethan Allen, um, so let me pull that back up, or let me go back to Ethan Allen. So you saw that breakout that I just showed you for Ethan Allen. Uh, so ETD. Okay. So here's Ethan Allen. Okay. So there's the breakout right there. Okay. So when I'm saying the Arun, and I'm just giving you this as a tip, this is 100% accurate. So right there is your Arun of 100 and a Arun down on the sell signal 0. And there's your breakout, right? So this don't lie. Like this is the number one way to get reliable breakouts, if you're aware of it. And maybe, just maybe, let me go back to Bitcoin and get rid of these particular indicators. Okay, remove indicators. Okay, so as I've shown you, that works. That works beautiful, right? So there's that. So let me go through some of the questions here. So uh, so there's a mention here from Graham with Amazon. Let's take a look at that. Um, so let's see here if I could find Amazon. I could do it this way. AMZN. So Amazon's a good example. So you can see it's, $90, 130 since April. Not bad. But let's say if I wanted to apply a rune signal on this, let's just say if that exists or not. If there is an Arun signal available in TradingView. So we do have an Arun oscillator. I've never seen this before, just so you know. Um, okay, hang on here. So we want Arun, and we want this one. Okay, there you go. So basically, what this is saying, as I said, we have a ranking between 0 to 100 on the Arun. So you can see right here, just as it's approaching the 100, you get your little breakout. But then you look next day, it pulls back. So if I maybe do, I don't know, an hourly chart on Amazon, you can see here that this can be fairly accurate. If you got to signal here is 0 and it's approaching 43, 45 positive and 100, there's your breakout right there, or right here's your timing right here on the negative side. You can see here, and it's moving up, boom. And this is a very accurate indicator to show you if this indicator will work or not. Any charts on the Heiken Ashi stuff? So it follows volume in my perspective. Volume, it depends upon what volume. If you're talking about the buy volume or the sell volume, um, Heiken Ashi is okay. But I'm going to show you something that I just discovered today that works. If depending upon if you want to trade Bitcoin. So just to follow up, your target is price of 160. Let me just get rid of this indicator. So, where's my Amazon? Sorry. So right there, 160 is your indicator and it's gapping up. So it could, I guess if you're using the indicator like a Heiken Ashi and it hits, that's good. But again, if I apply the Arun, let's just see what it says here. Arun is a very good indicator. That's all I can tell you. This looks pretty good actually. So you can see it is moving up, right? And then you could see here on the sell signal, and you get with the TA lib in Python, you get a separate one for the buy signal, which is the Arun up, and a separate signal for the Arun down. But I bet you, if you did take a look at the source code, you'd be able to generate that and customize the script for your needs. So you can definitely do that with the Pine script using something like this for Arun, just as an example. Um, okay, so I don't know how many of you guys trade Bitcoin, but this was a very nice indicator I saw. Um, this one right here. Okay, so let me talk about TradingView. If you are wanting to get some of these high frequency trading jobs that I've been posting on my YouTube channel at $1.5 million, some of them I just got another job description that's paying $900,000. If you want those kind of jobs, they're all in C++, and you don't have a lot of programming or math skills. A good place to start is with TradingView in Pine Script. But you have to be very, very proficient in math and C++ itself to get these kind of jobs. But with TradingView, it enables you with the with the uh, with the development environment in TradingView. It gives you a lot of advantages. So one of the things you really got to know about are market making strategies for high frequency trading shops. And if you know how to develop those, that's how you get those jobs. Plus, you have to be a very, very, very proficient coder in C++, as well as very strong in math. On top of, you have to have um, basically you have no life, but with the exception of coding and the love of market analysis and that sort of thing. So, one of the things you need to know about our market making strategies. So, one of the things that I found that blew my mind was this strategy called market maker balance. And I think that this particular strategy is only available for um, for uh, for Bitcoin. Okay, so when you look at this, this is unreal. Okay, so if you look at this chart now, and again, the source code is available. If you look for that indicator, market maker balancer, but you can see here, this thing works pretty impressively. 2 weeks ago, I showed what TradingView can do. We talked about high frequency data. So in here, you have available your time frame of up to 1 second. This particular strategy in PineScript has been designed, I believe, for a 5 minute time frame. But even if you look at the 10 second time frame, this can generate some really beautiful signals. Problem is the data source, which is Bitstamp, has very low volume in data for Bitcoin. You can see it's ticking along every 10 seconds. So I'm going to switch Bitcoin to another exchange to probably let's say pick Coinbase. Okay, so I'm going to move over to Coinbase, and you'll see the difference on the 10 second. See how the difference on the 10 second? It's not spotty at all. There's better liquidity on Coinbase. That's important for this type of strategy to work. So even if I go to 1 second, you can see here, like it's really a really good set. These are near ticks. I've never seen a platform that offers you 1 second time frame on this. So, for instance, if you wanted to try this on a futures market like the CME, which you can, let me see if I can find that just to show you the difference between Coinbase and the CME. So, let's see here. I know CME is in here. So, okay. There's Deribit. Um, I know there's CME in here, but it's not like this. The volume's nowhere as efficient as what you get on Coinbase. But this is a second time frame. So if I load in a 10-second time frame for this market making strategy, you can see here you're going from 29,000 to 162. And you can see here on these little dots and what they're indicating. This is a prediction on the direction of Bitcoin. So if I go to a 5 minute time frame, which seems to be a little more appropriate, you get these different little signals here. And I guess what it's trying to tell you is that it's accumulating. Once it goes green, that's when you start to buy. So you can imagine, because you can get the source code here, you can add in the order code into this strategy and be able to do all of this automatically 24/7 and be able to trade quite literally on near high frequency trading on Coinbase, which is pretty incredible. Not many platforms can do that. And that's one of the advantages what I want to show you with Pine Script, and that if you know exactly what you want to trade and what kind of trading strategy you want to have, you can easily do this with Pine Script, right? Um, and let me just show you the source code. So there's the source code for this strategy. And then there's also the settings as well. It's very powerful. And you could probably apply this. And then remember, this is a market making strategy, and it seems to work pretty good. I mean, it predicts a few, like right here, it's predicting it's going green, and then it moves up in price. And then there's your signal right there. Pretty good. And what people are wanting from the comments of this developer, they want the alerts of when to buy. I'd go beyond that and actually add in the automated order mechanism, because this particular strategy seems to work really good. So this is the power of TradingView with PineScript. If you know what you're doing and you're able to build out custom scripts in PineScript and be able to build out fully uh, end-to-end automated trading with these particular instruments. So let me go back to Graham and Jim. Uh, yeah, so yeah, Graham, do take a look at the particular Arun indicator. As I said, there is a nice one in here. Looks pretty good. Do you have do you use the TV data streams? Yes, I mean that's what these are from. When you're saying Trading View, are you mean specifically from Trading View? It depends on what you're doing. Like obviously you could do live trading orders. I'm still not there yet with Trading View. But I'm planning to move all of my orders and execution from the platform I'm on, which is Motorwave, and move it into TradingView. I'm using Kraken, but I'm going to have to use for crypto Genesis because that's the only available exchange available to me in Ontario, Canada. I'm also with Interactive Brokers. I'm also with Oanda. So that's the plan of action there. So what I would do is I'd use the data streams from those brokers I'm on, because usually you want to be with the for data, you want to use let's say you want to trade on Interactive Brokers, you probably want to use the Interactive Brokers data. So you want to have everything synced up. And same with the Forex as well. Do I study Head and Shoulders, cup and handle? It's a 75% accurate. Sorry, that is noise to me on Bitcoin. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, but all I'm showing you is just crypto's the number one, seems to be the number one asset class out there on TradingView, especially Bitcoin. So just using that for as an example of the power of what you can get with Pine Script. It's just unreal what you can do with Pine Script. Thanks for the like, Jim. Sorry, we could try it and download your script. Okay, let me explain something about the scripts and TradingView. I have tried to submit scripts on TradingView. They seem to be pretty, they're touchy on a few things. If I took, let's say, this particular trade, this Pine script I just showed you, the market making, modified it and resubmitted it to TradingView, I'd probably get penalized and get a 30-day ban on TradingView. So you have to be very, very careful when you submit scripts to TradingView to be published. So I've tried one and it scared me enough not to do it. But my workaround is I have um, some scripts I'll be building out, but they'll be private and by invite only, if that makes sense. That's how I'm probably going to get around that. Uh, so there's that. Streams to my Python programs. Yes, as I said, I'm using data sets. There's one I'm using called Financial Modeling Prep. Let me just try to pull that up for you. Um, Pull up a new browser here. So that's just one example source that I'm using. So if I go over to the Google search engine and I put in uh, FMP is the short for it. Okay, I guess not. Yeah, so just as a source, you can use this with Python. Yeah. So there's the modeling prep. So right here, this right here is one data source I use. It's very affordable and it does mostly fundamental analysis. So I can do fundamental analysis on anything out there, ETF, stock, Forex, you name it, stock ETF, it does it, and it's all archived through and accessible through FMP. And you can do it for like $20 a month. It's cheap. And that's just one example I use as a data source. And there's lots of data sources. Obviously, I can use um, the brokers and exchanges themselves, which I used to use. I've done very well in crypto. When crypto was hitting, I was running some very high frequency trading scripts. I went from a small account of 250 all the way up to 8,000 in 2 years. So I was doing over 2 years, 12 time returns each year. Did really good. And then I cashed out when crypto was starting to weaken and I did pretty good there. I was pretty happy. Um, yes. So that, as I said, Graham, it's, that's what I do is I just keep it private. I've got a bunch of that are in development, some I can release, but I'm going to start getting more serious with the scripting in PineScript probably this week. It's an awesome arrangement where you can invite people in. I've got a few people already in there. Um, okay, so let's start. If you guys got questions specifically on what I've just showed you, the difference between Python and something like Python versus TradingView itself with PineScript, go ahead and ask in the comments. Um, so I'm just catching up here. So Graham says he's 65, love learning from you. Oh, thanks, Graham. Appreciate it. I'm fairly new on TradingView. I opened an account last year, and whatever, nice charting, da. But once Interactive Brokers started doing the live trading back in October, I was like, I gotta check this out. And last June, about 3 months ago, I started getting more serious on TradingView. And yeah, it's probably the best platform out there, and it's the number one platform easily for just looking at analysis on anything. The technical with the Pine scripting, that's pretty solid. Live trading now, it's just TradingView is a really, really excellent platform to be on. Anyways, I'm starting from the beginning in the live chat here. Uh, okay, so just going through everything. So you mentioned PGM group metals. So let me go back to TradingView and take a look at that. What do you know the stock symbol of PGM? Uh, I'll just try to, is it PGM as an example? If it's a stock, PGM, platinum. No. Oh, yeah, group. No, that's not the same. PGM, I'm not sure if that's the same one. I'll look at the daily chart here. Let me just get rid of these indicators here. So, um, let me see here how I can get rid of these indicators. Sorry about this. I'm gonna kind of go wonky here for a minute. Okay, can I get rid of that? Remove indicator. Cool. Okay, so we've got here PGM. Okay, so we got a daily chart. Yeah, I don't, no offense, that there's not a lot of liquidity there if that's the same stock. Um, let me just see here. PGM is platinum model metals, yes. Rhodium. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of this chart. Um, there's a lot of reasons why. It seems to be manipulated based upon the magnitude of the bar sizes. So they're just not natural looking. I can give you a good one if you're into a really good stock. There's one called OR, Osisco Gold Royalties. This is a beautiful stock. Let me pull up or maybe better yet, we'll go year to date. So you can see here gold has had a solid run from, in this case, $12 all the way up to 18. So 50% return. When a calamity hits, this will be a great stock to own. And the reason I'm suggesting it is that this stock pays out royalties. They do own a smelter. They do own. They're based out of Quebec. They do have a gold, another smelter for gold. So they pay out royalties on top of the stock value as well. It's like having a dividend, but it's a really nice stock, and that's OR. Probably one of the better stocks to own when it comes to a gold play. And it's like I said, it's based out of Quebec, Canada. So going back to PMG. Now that we got a better chart here. Um, just want to make sure. So PGM, just to make sure. Yeah, see, it's just something not. See right here, these two bars? These are daily bars. It's just something tells me that this is manipulated somehow. It's not natural or it doesn't have enough liquidity in the stock itself. So, yeah, it's a penny stock. That's why. Yeah, so you got to kind of be careful of those stocks. There's bigger stocks to get into, like OR is a good one for that. Uh, Also, check out the chart guys with, I think, Lori. I haven't seen them before. I'll do that. Anglo Platinum. Um, yes, it's low. Russia is selling by the back door. Yeah. Yeah, Russia's an interesting play. When they invaded Ukraine with Binance, I spotted that trade where you could have made a lot of money with Bitcoin and ruble. Over 2 months, you would have made a lot of money, and as well with the waves as well, because they were using Binance as a way to get money out of Russia, and then on the exit sell that uh, from Binance and buying up Dubai real estate. That's what a lot of the oligarchs were doing. So I was watching that in real time. Uh, yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions. If you guys got further questions, don't be shy. So I've shown you the difference between Pine Script and the power of Pine Script with that market making script. If you're into Bitcoin and you want to learn about the chain analytics, there's a few indicators as well that are available for on-chain analysis indicators as well, which is something I've never seen in a retail platform like a TradingView. Um, and just being able to sit here and say you can trade on by the second or every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, that I've never seen before. And that's why I'm really stuck on TradingView as probably the best platform out there for that. And as I said, for the high frequency live. Oh yeah, you want me to take a look at Win? Yeah, no problem. Actually, Win's a good one. For a while, the gaming industry was doing fairly well. Let me just pull up a year to date just to show you that. Year to date. So right here in this time frame, right at the beginning of the year, gaming was doing pretty incredible. It was one of the best sectors to be in, but it started all the way back here in December. So it went from 57, it's double in a very short period of time. I don't know what drove that. I think it's probably like the pandemic and the coronavirus revenge spending. This is one of the benefits of it. Wind did really, really good. And it's a low volatile stock as well. So you can see here it's gone range bound, dips back, and these sort of things I don't like. But the one thing I like about a stock like this, even if it gets hit, which it did, but look at how long that recovery takes. It's very quick. And there's a lot of play here, and it's a volatile stock. Definitely something that has done well. Oh, sorry, it looks like you got the wrong stock there. WHYN. Is that WHYN? I don't seem to see it. WHYN, is that right? WHYN. Is that what you want me to look at, Graham? Yeah, it's not coming up. But that win is a good one. That's a very good one, actually. Um, but I think that will come off as travel and leisure. Some of the airlines were doing really well about a month or two ago when, so for instance, I'm trying to think of UA, Airlines. Um, yeah, UAL, I'm sorry. So just as a comparison, you can see it's gone up 27% in a very short period of time. Excellent sector back in the day, but you can see it's come off now. And as well, this is all synchronized between the gaming and the travel industry, airlines as an example. So something to be aware of. Also, any ideas on XPENG? Um, is that the Chinese car manufacturer? XPENG. I don't see anything on that. Oh, am I looking for this symbol XPEVR? Sorry, XPEV? Yes, okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'd have to do an analysis on just to see the volatility score on it. Um, and if it's, as I said, if it's under point 0.4, then that would be a very good stock to have. Problem is when you see these spikes and it drops back, I don't know if this is manipulated or not. If it's let me see if it's a penny stock. Yeah, it's not really, it's a mid cap. So right here is the critical juncture if it's going to rally back up. But because it's a daily stock or a daily time frame, it's kind of held its own pretty good. It hasn't had like a lot of steep declines. That's an encouraging sign. But it really depends upon where the markets go if this will continue to move up. That's a hard one to say. But again, I'd have to run it through my Python to get a better analysis on it. And check out the Arun and all that fun stuff. So that's something I'll have to take a look at. But that's not a bad chart. But if you compare that to, let me pull up MRO just as an example, Marathon. That's a current stock that you might want to look at just for comparison. So let me just get rid of this thing. You can see what I'm trying to tell you is when you get a stock that does really well, and when the credit market or a creditor cuts the U.S. credibility and it barely hurts this stock, you know that this stock can and most likely will continue to move up. Whereas a lot of stocks have gotten hurt really badly. As if you want, like I've seen some stocks get hurt, like they lose a lot of money on last week because they just are not, well managed, or they're not, um, don't have a strong forward guidance. Where because of that, their stock value comes down very quickly. But Marathon's held its own really good. So if you compare that to something like this, you want to be in a stock that holds its own really good. And you can see it's already recovered from the declines of last week, which is pretty good, and that sector is fairly strong still in oil. So there's that. Oh, I see. So okay, so this one XPEV, the car Chinese car because Volkswagen bought 25%. Oh, yeah, that'll be a strong, and that's a good strong outlook as well because it says something about Volkswagen's view on the stock as well as the car manufacturer. So that's obviously a good move where that will move up. One of the car manufacturers that has kind of done okay is Stellantis, which is like, Fiat, Chrysler. Let's see if I could find it here. Stellantis. I just can't remember the name of the symbol. Stellantis? What? Stellantis? Let me pull up a browser here. I don't know. There's over thousands of stocks there that you can't obviously memorize, but let me just go here for Stellantis, STEL, or no, it's STLA, I think it was. Yeah, Stellantis. So they're based out, I believe, Denmark. So if you want a decent stock that I've been seeing, is that one, STLA. That one has done fairly strongly. And again, same thing. It hasn't dipped back. It hasn't dropped back a lot. It's held its own pretty good late last week. So if there's another solid run up, maybe, just maybe from 18 to $20, so 10% increase. But this is one of the stronger players. And um, yeah, so another one that has done fairly well is Honda. I don't know how it's been doing lately. HMC. Let me give you some car manufacturers I've seen lately that have done really well, that have been very low volatile. Um, so you can see the gaps here. That's the problem because it's a Japanese company. But from a long-term hold, you got from 30 to $31. I don't know. But here you can see it 30 to 31, I guess is nothing to get excited about. Yeah, let me take a look at some of the Fibonacci. So let me go back to that one company you mentioned, what was it, XPEV? Yeah, this one. So I'll pull up the okay, so we are looking at an hourly view. So let me show you something to look. See how it's all spotty along here, all the gaps. A lot of people like their gaps, but this is where it gets dangerous when it gaps down. Um, you want to find stocks that have a really good, like for instance, Marathon. It's a little better, doesn't gap as much. Um, or Bitcoin's another good one. You can see there's no gaps at all. So that's kind of like what I look for as well. Because the gaps can be dangerous when they gap down, and way markets are now, they could probably not crash, but they could, based upon some really negative catalyst that comes in the market and everything can't. You could lose money very quickly, and if you have a stock that gaps down, you can lose a lot of money very very quickly. So I'm going to pull up the Fibonacci. We'll look at the XBEV. So there's a variety of Fibonacci here. Fibonacci is not bad. I can't remember which one I use. No, not that one. There's so many Fibonacci. Um, so I could talk to you about Fibonacci. Maybe it's this one. No, this is what I'm saying. I'll get confused by, I think it's Fibonacci retracement. Let me think here. What indicators do you use? Um, yeah, so right here, just so you know, from educational, 618 is your golden zone you want to be in for entries. Anywhere between 618 and 786 can be your golden entry. So you can see here, depending upon your time frame as well, daily chart. We're in the golden zone, so this is not a bad stock if momentum comes back in the stock. So it's a good entry. That's what I like about Fibonacci. Is you can use it for entries and exits. depending upon your tolerance. So let me just get rid of that. So yes, gaps going up. But what I'm saying is right now, the problem is with the stock market, um, there is momentum in the market right now. But if you listen to the guys like Peter Kiff or more on the doom and gloom guys on YouTube, uh, everybody's saying that the market's going to crash, and a lot of people have gotten out of stocks and are not involved with stocks because if you have equity um, portfolio with equity in it, you probably could lose quite a bit. And there's recommending you get out of all your equity, just from what I'm hearing. So something to consider. Right now, I'm just surprised that the markets have bounced back, and they probably will continue to move up. But it's hard. It's really shaky right now. But on the other hand, you have um, like gold's not doing as well as it should. Probably gold's not doing it well at all. But when you look at if you're into, I know U.S. cannot buy into CFDs, but just as an example, you got a nice run up here from 68 for oil all the way up to 82 in a month. Like that's what I like to see. Just a solid rock solid trend up. Another one that a lot of people don't know. Um, maybe I think this is going to start to move up really well. Is a Euro Hungarian as well. You can see that's kind of moving up. But if you look at a 5-year plan, you can see when bad times hit, this currency pair does quite well. And you can see we're probably in early stages of the next run up for Euro Hungarian. That's a Hungarian. I can't remember the name of the currency, but that Euro Huff, as I call it. Yeah, you sell at a profit, Bill, as you said. Lots of earning reports due in the next couple of weeks. Yes, and obviously the big ones for are I think Apple, Amazon that are already hit, but that's where the FMP comes in, the financial modeling prep, because you're able to use the forward guidance. I used to write for Seek and Alpha, and they were nothing but a that website is nothing but fundamental. And the best one of the best indicators is forward guidance. So if you have a company with 3 years, 5 years of really good forward guidance, yeah, you want to be part of those companies. If you only have a company that won't even put any forward guidance out, I wouldn't put money into that company because that's a reflection of the company's confidence in their own future. So it's just something to be aware of with forward guidance. And that's the other thing I like about with what I've got in those spreadsheets I've shown you. Um, right here, the recommendations, that's from institutional analysts. So that's a rating supplied by Yahoo Finance. And these right here are very important. Strong buy and buy, again, from institutional analysts. And if you could find those that don't have any sell or strong sell recommendations, those are stocks you want to be part of, as well as they have low volatility. So that's what you want to find. Finding them is the hard part. But if you find them, you have a very strong a very strong probability you'll do very well with what I've already shown you tonight with some of these stocks. Um, yeah. So anybody else got any questions? I think this is our most active stream on TradingView. I appreciate that. But let's not be fools. We're watching you go for greed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's lots of ways to measure greed in the markets. Right now, I think the greed is not there. Like as an example, obviously, Bitcoin's the ultimate example of that. Right here, um, between 20, right here in this move up from let's say 10,000 all the way up to 60,000. That's a classic FOMO greed trade. People just didn't want to miss out on that, and that has done really good. Made a lot of people a lot of money. But if they don't know what they're doing, they're hanging on. Boom, and then they get fooled on a run up, and then boom, they'll do buy the dip, and they'll do what they call the hodl, hang on for dear life investing. And look where they end up. They lose probably 90% of their investment if they're starting from here or here, right? So it's not a smart way to trade. So yeah, greed is a factor, but you got to know what's moving and what's not moving. So as I said earlier, if you're a forex trader, and I do believe if the markets get very bad, the place to go will be forex, will be currency. So this is going to be one of those trades that's done really well. I mean, you're going from 311 to 420. That's what, a 30% return? Pretty good. There's a better pair out there called actually another one is the US dollar and the Thai baht. And that one did very well as well. So you can see here again from February 21 all the way up to October 2022. If you knew that trade, you could just sit there, not trade in stocks, trade in certain currencies like this one. You would have done very well from 30 to 38. So you do the math there. That's a um, another close to 30% return in a year, just holding that. So the defense trades are not gold. So if I was to show you that, compare that to gold as an example, I'll just use XAU USD, which is the more popular one for gold ETF. You could see, actually, no, I always forget currencies are have low returns. So, but here's the thing about gold that really gets to me is that everyone thinks gold's great. On this run, yes, gold would have been done. If you hung on to gold, you would have lost money and then it would have come back and you would have broken even between here and here. But if you go back all year, all time, you can see gold, nice run up here. You hung on to your gold, you would have lost money here, but you would have made it back. But that's like January 11th, that's a 12-year trade to make back your money. That's what you call an opportunity cost. Yes, as I said, Graham, the buy the dip does not do anything. And as I said earlier, for all those crypto traders, um, right here, you would have lost money buying the dip. Buy the dip. I'll buy the dip here. Look what happened. I'll buy the dip here. Goes down. This is the early stage that buy the dip no longer works because you have a higher probability of the markets going down. So you have to look for instruments that will move up: gold, silver. And here's something that you might not be aware of. Let's say if I bring in the DXY, the US dollar index, right? I get rid of this comparison. But when I want to show you something here, so that's the US dollar. Everyone thinks that they'll buy gold. So if you buy gold, right? Again, gold, US dollar, right? You can see gold, you'd be up 30%. But if I add in silver, XAG USD, you could see something here that silver at times will outperform the gold. So again, that's where the automated trading comes in to know these sort of things. So along here, you've been up right here, you've been up a few percent, right? So that matters. But everyone thinks that I'm going to buy gold in US dollars. So let me show you another little thing here as well. So if I bring in gold in US dollar, right? I'll get rid of that. I'm just showing you things that I've seen. So here's gold in US dollar. Okay. So if I started showing you other currencies, holding gold in other currencies, namely something like the yen, you'll see the massive difference here. Um, so you can see there, look at the difference there. You got 28% holding in US dollar, but you would be up almost triple by holding it in yen. And why people like yen is because it's low volatile. Okay, and it's nothing but up and up and up. So everyone thinks that's awesome. That's great. But guess what? When you look at the price of gold, it's manipulated and or suppressed. But here's how you know it's moving the way it should. So if you look at this currency, Turkish lira, this is how gold should be moving. You get a 500% return over Japanese yen and US dollar. And that's a solid trend since 2020. So 3-year trend, you would have made 560%, or sorry, 506% holding that. Um, it's a fairly safe trade by the looks of it. Because why? Well, Turkey's inflation's 80% per year. So if you hold that, if you held that and still hold it, you'd be doing very well. Another one to look at when it comes to the lira is the euro Turkish lira currencies, right? So there you go, 360% return, and it hasn't no sign of crashing. Your YouTube gold bugs won't tell you this trade. Your financial advisor won't tell you about this trade, but the trade right there on charts on TradingView Live says it all. If you want to get maximum returns, right? And that's just full gold in a certain currency. It blows my mind what I discover every day. But when you go automated, it's virtually unstoppable what you can do, and that's within a bad market. So another example could be everyone said I can't make money in crypto right now, but if you worked with that market making Pine Script for Bitcoin, you could make a lot of money with that Bitcoin with that script in Bitcoin or Ethereum, no questions asked. As long as you're on a an exchange that has high liquidity and high volume for those particular crypto coins, like on Coinbase or Binance. Anybody else got any comments or questions? So what I want to show you is the difference between Python and doing things with Python, which are very powerful. There is a screener available in PineScript. I haven't worked with it in, sorry, there is a screener available in TradingView. I've not worked with it in PineScript. I have done and built my own screeners, which I've just shown you in Python, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, I'm long on Winsome, Australia. What's your symbol for that, Graham? Let's see if we can find it here. I like learning about other stocks. Um, let's see. Winsome? Winsome Yards? Is that what we're looking at? Oh, I see. Winsome Resources. Okay. Oh, that's a very nice looking. Wow, very good. Remove all these other ones here. That is really, again, that's a penny stock, obviously, but that has done extremely well. Um, yeah, I gotta note that one. Yeah, I definitely I think that's an excellent stock to long in. I could see why. Um, yeah, why you'd want to hold that. That's a really good one. Okay, let me just get that. Win some. That's Australia. Very nice. That's a good one. Thanks for that tip. Yeah, I looked it up. So yeah, that's a good one. The thing here is I don't like the volatility here, but you could easily trade that on its own. And a $2. So is that what kind of resource is that? Is that like an iron or a metal? Like a yeah, yeah, that's really good. Any other questions or comments at all? Yeah, as I said, I appreciate everybody that's hung on here for dear life for since this live stream started. But as I said, I'm going to be more focusing on the programming side of TradingView on the Pine scripting. Um, I could talk about the Python as well, but from what I'm seeing in my audience outside of TradingView, nobody cares about market analysis. They care about the automation side, the tech stuff. So that's what I focus on. Oh, so this is a lithium trade. Very nice. Um, Ontario has some penny stocks as well that focuses on lithium and cobalt as well. I can't really say a lot about lithium. I haven't seen a lot of stocks involved with lithium. It's always the major metals, the copper. Um, I can give you another tip here if you want. Um, so I came across an interesting concept here. When it comes to the price of copper, copper is a early indicator metal. They use for it's part of the value chain. So when you look at let me just see here, XCU USD. So that should come up. Okay, so this here's copper. Okay, XCU. So that's a CFD for copper. But the thing about copper is when it spikes, usually what will happen is that's an early indicator of China putting in orders for manufacturing. So when you start to see price of copper go up, that is China ordering specifically from Australia because it's one of the largest uh, resources for copper in the world is Australia. So when you start to see copper go up, usually both Hang Seng markets can go up as well as the Chinese market. So let me just pull that up as a relationship between the two. Um, you could see here there is a somewhat a relationship here, right here. So I've seen, yeah, so that's weekly. Let me pull up the daily. You could see that there is a somewhat of a relationship there. Yeah, EV and solar as well. Um, yeah, so copper is a really good one. But the other thing to watch when it comes to this relationship is the Australian US dollar as well, because you'll see that as well. So this is like three instruments that kind of move together, have been lately. Um, yeah, I don't see Australian here. Let me put that, change that color to red or purple. See if that takes. I don't see it. But anyways, you could usually, if you overlay them with the Australian dollar, you could see that as well. But definitely copper and the uh, Australian ASX, or sorry, the copper as well as the CN50, which is the Shanghai top 50 companies in China, move kind of together. Um, and you'll also see that with the Australian dollar currency as well. So when you start to see the price of copper move up, as you can see here, um, or once it starts to move up like these two bars, that's an encouraging sign that China should be coming back. Because right now, I'd say that China's in a depression, like a literal depression, because a lot of the factories have moved out to go to India. So, yeah, good question on the Chilean. See, with the Chilean, it's hard to say because with the WANDA, they show you the CFDs for Australia, sorry, the forex with the US dollar, Australian US dollar, and the copper CFD as well as the CFD for the CN. There's nothing in there for Chile, but I wouldn't be surprised that Chile may do well as well. And the best way to find out is um, looking at an MSCI ETF for Chile. So let me just see if I could find Chile ETF. So this one right here, ECH. And I have seen that. Let me just see. That might be the closest we would get exposure to. ECH. So an orange, yeah, it looks like it, they kind of move together. So stick with the Chilean MSCI ETF as an example. Chile is a stock. Oh, I'm sorry, Chile. Okay, sorry. Let me pull that up. I guess that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this as well, Graham. Um, Chile. Yeah, I don't see it. You have a symbol for it? Oh, yes. FCX is another great stock. Um, yes, that is another very good one. Let me get rid of some of this. That's FCX, but that hasn't been doing too well lately. But you can see the big swings here. But I mean, let me just pull up that a fresh chart there for that. FCX earlier in the year was a really good one. Freeport, because they I think they have the most amount of metals that they mine. So you can see here back in January, 357 all the way up to 430, and it's very low volatility at that point. Has just dropped back and it's kind of gone choppy. So Again, it's a good was a good stock. Another one out of that lot. Oh, I'm sorry, hang on. So we want FCX. Yeah, yeah. See gap still. That's a daily chart, but still back in uh, early part of the year, it just did really well, and it's kind of drifted back, but it's had a nice run there. If you're willing to invest in it long term, the day trade, this is kind of scary with these gaps, as I said earlier. So Google long, yes, that's another one I've seen as well. That was doing pretty good. See, there's no very well, there's gaps here as well. But on the gap down, that's what you don't want to see. But Google's a good one as well. Amazon has been pretty good as well, and Microsoft as well. Um, but this is what you got to worry about: is has it capped out? Has it petered out now? This trade. One trade. Okay, so we all know about Nvidia and their AI chips. So it's kind of gone flat. One company that I've seen is TSMC, which is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing. Let's see if how that's been doing. Oh, oh. But that one's been doing pretty good lately. Um, yeah, so that was a good stock as well. MS shows Head and Shoulders. Yes, I don't really hate to say I don't pay a lot of attention to the like classic technical indicators like Head and Shoulders, just because I'm working off of uh, of technical of the data that I work with. I've just shown you tonight. Um, Taiwan is sideways. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I just like things that trend. Oil's doing well. Certainly some of the currencies like the euro, huff. Definitely the anything in Turkish lira like gold or euro and Turkish lira is done really good. Those are the sort of trades I like. Um, or better yet, long term. A lot of people don't know about this one. When last year was really bad, was the USD Japanese yen. I mean, it's a simple trade, right? And is it going to start coming back? It looks like it's already reversing, continuing on with that long-term trend from 104 to 104 or 142. That's a big return, and that's just in 2 years. So that's a big currency to have that's stable. The same thing with DXY. If you just want to be able to put money into something, have it get returns, and play golf for the rest of the week or month, even, because these are very good pairs to set and forget as they call it, put it into autopilot. So that's the sort of thing I like to see, and very low volatile as well, and it just trends up, which is what I like to see. Any other questions or comments from people? Appreciate you guys coming in. As you can see, I freewheel a lot. But hopefully you've seen, if you've been watching, the differences between something like Python generating the data that I can provide in the ranking and the scoring to find really good both ETFs and stocks, along with the categories I've shown earlier where they're performing, which are pretty well. The metals are doing really good. Um, Another one I've not talked about is real estate seems to be doing okay. Let me pull up Toll Brothers as an example. Uh, so Toll Brothers, you can see their beautiful chart, 36 to $80, and that's probably better than the Magnificent Seven. And you can see there. Let me just pull up the daily here. Um, Really nice solid chart. And again, what you want to look for to see if it's a well-run company, there's enough demand. You can see it's not collapsed in price with the government getting cut. Has not happened. And you can see already it's generating a few little green indicators. So I wouldn't be surprised if that will continue to move up. And there is a ETF around that as well. But Toll Brothers is a really good stock to have. There's a few other ones. And $80, man, from $50 earlier in the year. That's probably, let me just pull up NVIDIA just to compare it. NVIDIA. Yeah. forget it. Nvidia does blows the doors off it. Still, that's a pretty good stock. Nvidia is an easy trade. Let's put it that way. Lazy man's trade. As I said, any comments or questions anyone's got um, at all? Um, do these every Monday night, just so you know. So if you want, I'd strongly encourage you to follow myself on my account, and then you'll get notifications on all my ideas. Mostly I focus on Bitcoin, oil's a big one, gold, and the DXY I post about as well. I would like to post other ones, but they're not as popular. So I only post the popular stuff. So, but I do the uh, good old stocks as well, forex as well, as I've been talking about all night. So yeah, if you like what you're seeing, just go over to one of my profiles, Telegram. I do have Discord available if people want that. I just don't find it engaging for my current group. I just launched uh, Substack, which has been very engaging, very good. I do have a YouTube. You'll find it all on my profile. And any other questions at all? If not, I'll give it a good evening or good day wherever you are. Just pull up, see if there's anything else. You are special smart. Can I ask if you have Asperger's like me? I know of. Oh, JPXN. Sorry, Jim, I missed those. JPXN. There is a couple of Japan um, ETFs that I've seen as well. I just don't know the names of them. Let's here remove that. That's kind of spotty as well, but it's still kind of doing okay. 57 to $66, but there are some other better performing Japanese stocks. Is that a Japanese? Oh, it's a Nikkei. That's why. But there are ETFs that focus on the yen as well. Um, so got out of BTC, got 17,000 sold at 2,500 or 25,000. Yeah, that's a good trade. As it stands with Bitcoin, I put out an idea. I think there's just better place to put money in with better performance. If you want to trade via one of the trading scripts like a market making, you could probably do very well using one of those scripts with automated trading and let it rip. Um, but right now it's not volatile, but the problem is no momentum in Bitcoin. And it's been like that for last month. I like Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin, but you see it's just been flat since June 23rd. I mean, how do you trade that, right? Personally, I think that's a lot to do with regulation is driving that. And now with the Bitcoin ETFs from like BlackRock, that's going to change Bitcoin, and that will be those type of ETFs will hinder the performance of Bitcoin overall. So then there's Ethereum as well coming out. So other coins like XRP, which I had a lot of hope on. You can see here with that lawsuit and XRP winning and drifting down. That's not a good sign. So crypto overall, I think has potential, but it's like when and where. There's no predictability to it. That's the problem. Got something else. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're asking me if I got something else or you got something else you want me to know about. So the XRP is just, and those are the top three: is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP. When Solana was moving, I did pretty good trading there. A lot of the altcoins are doing well, and again, that's where you have the automation happening, especially around crypto in Python. Um, you can kind of do it on on TradingView, but you don't know what's moving in TradingView when it comes to crypto. And that's where you got a lot more flexibility when it comes to Python. That's one of the big advantages with it. Um, I've seen this stock as well. I can never say it. Altasian. See here, Altasian. Um, so is it team that I'm wanting? See that big gap and look what happens. The last two bars, it just comes back down. I'd have to run it through my Python to let you know on the volatility. It's not bad, but I like stocks that are shown earlier with that just nice solid run up. Yeah, team, that's what I got here. Team. Yeah, yeah. But you can see here when you start to see these negative or these red bars, it shows you that they don't hold up very strongly when the markets do badly. With some of the other stocks I've shown that just go through um, those bad news and doesn't affect the stock at all. That's the kind of stocks that I'm on that are not so sensitive. I'm seeing here some further examples if you want to know. Um, there's one called HAW. Um, let's see here. This one, these are ones I just discovered. So this is Hayward. Um, okay. Stocks, HAW. HAW. So you can see what I mean? Just a really nice solid run up. And when you had two, really days last week, the stock's not affected by it. It's gone from right here, $12 to $15. That's 10%, just a matter of a couple of weeks, right? And but it's these drawdowns you want to be very careful of, obviously. But this is a decent look at stock. There's another one here, MATMTG. Magic Investment Corporation, another really good stock. You can see there's no drawdowns whatsoever. Just a really strong run up. $12 back in March, and now it's at 18. So it's a 50% run up. Pretty strong. I could show you more like this. Another one, ESNT. These are the ones I just discovered today. So I go through this daily, and I see these stocks all the time. So there's another one. See right here? Should I worry about that negative red bar from today? Well, we'll see tomorrow. But it's really, and look at the volume here when the markets went bad. You're looking again, $38 to $53. Solid run up. Very good. This one looks good as well. RF, Regions Financial Corporation. This is one of those independent financial investment banking. I'm not sure, but it's looking pretty good as a defensive play, 16 to $20. So that's a 25% return. And that's when the big tech have kind of cooled off, and you still have some companies and stocks out there performing. So that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, you sold team at 200. Yeah. Oh, right. So I guess yeah, you made money then for sure. I don't know what your entry point was. That's not bad. But you can see the kind of stocks that I look for with those past five, six uh, prior ones. But again, that's because I'm using the Python to rank, score, go through the hot sectors I've shown earlier, and that have been real good winners. The thing here is it depends how you want to play these. These are very good for long-term investment. And you could definitely develop some really good strategies with Pine Script to trade one-on-one with these and just day trade. I'll be probably working on those, as I said, over the next week. On top of to day trade them, like wait here to trade. Hopefully you'll make money here and then you make profit. But when you break, that's on a daily chart. But if you break it down, in my case, that I watch a 2 hour chart, you can see here your system may pick up a position here, and then you could lose money just on these 3 4 bars over a 4 hour period. Or you may get lucky and some news item comes in and boom, and then you have like your exits are good enough where it's just going to start cutting that trade somewhere in here. But that's a huge move. $60 on one stock, on a stock you've never heard of, and that's the sort of thing that I look for. Now, when you properly optimize your trading, looking for these top performing stocks, you could do very well. And this is this was August 3rd, Thursday. That was, I guess, this before the news came out on from Fitch and did very well. Instead, it did get hit, but it may be on another recovery. I don't know what the news is on that stock, but it may be in early stages of recovery here. So it might be a good stock to jump into. I don't know, but there's thousands of stocks to pick from. But as I said, what you want are high performing, well timed, and most of all, the least volatile stocks out there. I have to put on a light. Hang on. Yeah, I should have key things. So anybody else got any questions at all? As I said, I'm back here on Monday night. Um, and yeah, just if you're interested in seeing what I do outside of TradingView, yeah, just go to my profile and you'll see all my different social media. Telegram, I do, as I said, there is a Discord, but it's, there's no engagement on it, at least for my group. Um, yeah, engagement's a hard thing outside of TradingView. That's why I do TradingView. Wait. Okay, I'll wait. Um, you know, Graham's a rare one. He's highly engaging. That's why I'm still doing the stream here. Yeah, but like I said, when you do streams on TradingView, you're very restricted on what you can say. Has to be non-promotional. So obviously, hey, they make the rules. You got to follow them. But I will have an ability to, once I start developing the scripts, that I'll have an invite, um, an invitation in those scripts that perform, and I'll profile them as they do well. Where everything's working right now are the performing stock, the high performing stocks. Like, and I've just shown you earlier tonight on when to time it based upon using the rune indicator uh, for a potential breakout. And we just went through one that did pretty good. So I'm waiting on Graham to drop in a new stock. I'm sure you know, Graham, that we could do this next Monday as well. If you want, just if you got any questions, any of who is watching this, just reach out to me via private messaging. That's probably the best way to reach me, and I can work and help out wherever I can. Because as I said, I'm very restricted on what I could say. Fuel cell. Let's take a look at this one. All right. Um, fuel fuel cell. Okay, FCEL. I may have seen this stock. Okay, so that's in a 2 hour time frame, 1 day. Yeah, it's just constantly declining. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Is that going to be a turnaround story that you know of, Graham? It just seems to be constantly declining. The opposite that I'm looking for. I mean, if you want to short it, that'd probably be a good stock. Um, not sure on that. Any up? I can't say. Um, that if what's going to drive that is going to be a positive news story from that company. Also, what it depends on is its ability for forward guidance. Actually, what I could show you how to do that. You can. What was that symbol? FCEL. Okay, so if you want, one trick is on Yahoo Finance. To know if it's nearing a bottom, uh, yeah, they don't. Okay, so if you go under analysis, so this is not me speaking. This is an analyst looking at this stock here. Uh, so it's tough to say. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can look at FMP. Um, Financial. I'm not sure if I have my login working for financial modeling prep. Let's see here if I'm logged in or not. Yeah, I'm still logged in. So that's FCEP. That's FCEL. So anybody could join this. Yeah, FCEL. Let's see here. FCEL. Boom. Let's see how that what's coming out of this. So 1 year performance. Yeah, it's nothing but declining. Um, let's see what else is there from it. Yeah, see, it's had a decent year. Yeah, but it's not looking like a great company here. Um, I don't know what more I can tell you on it. Financial statements, uh, revenue. Yeah, it's been declining. It's kind of coming back. It's up and down. Oh, that's oh, so yeah, its revenue's looking good. But you see, here's the problem. Cost of revenue, 160. So it has negative, no profit. So that's what they got to work on. And the other thing is, if you look at the forward guidance, if there is forward guidance, um, I think this has financial forward guidance. I just can't remember. Um, but yeah, it's losing money. That's probably why it's not doing too good. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably start looking at better stocks. I've given you a good set of samples already. There's these ones right here. ETD, well, HAW, MTG, ESNT, RF look pretty good. Yeah, it might be tax relief. I don't know. I can't say. It's hard to say. Um, other than that, I'm not sure what more I could tell you. But like I said, I'm on these every Monday night at 7 p.m. So if you want to come back on the next one, we can definitely try another batch of stocks and other instruments as well. Um, are you a follower of mine as well? If not, just follow me and you can message me as well. I can try to help you out. Anybody else got questions or comments? If not, I'll do it going once, twice, three times, and then we'll call it a night. Usually I try to keep it top it at well, I'm beyond my 1.5 hours, but that's okay. So going once, going twice, going three times. All right, guys, folks, thanks for watching me. This will be available once it's all rendered. Same with my YouTube and all that. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you got some stuff out of this. Have a good day, night, wherever you are. Over and out. Later.